Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those that make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Good evening. Welcome to the
4:59.
budget hearing.
You have to call the,
Mr. Barrett.
Here.
Mr. Belishko.
Here.
Mr. Meering.
Here.
Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mrs. McClay is excused. Also in attendance is Mayor George Brown, Controller Tony Thomas, Administrator Charlie McCormick, Assistant City Attorney Maureen Collins, Finance Director Brian Sweats, Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith, Administrative Assistant Lisa Sanfilippo. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to solicit comments from the public on the Mayor's 2026 General Fund budget. Mr. Chairman.
Anyone have comments on the 2026 budget?
Yes. She's going first.
Please.
I'll go first.
Sure.
State your name for the record, please.
It's Beth Ann McTavish. I live up at 82 Darling Street in Wilkes-Barre. I'm here to speak up about the doubling of the sewer tax. And I know I've been here a number of times and complaining about no maintenance on that sewer that crosses the entire part of the one-way part of Darling Street. There are no other catch basins there, and I lost my car. It backed up, I went out, the car was a total disaster. The insurance company totaled it, and they raised my rate $660 a year to boot. I didn't even do anything, it wasn't my fault, but they still said I had to pay it. Now, I want to know what's going to be done with regard to putting in at least two small grates on the one-way part of the street because I get too much runoff. It can't handle it there. Every time it rains, I have to move my car and walk a quarter of a mile to get the car in the morning because I'm afraid that it's going to back up again. I mean, some people might think that's funny, but I don't. Because I've been putting up with it for 30 years, and I call DPW, and they just tell me, yada, 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 we don't want to hear the speech. And in the winter, it's even worse, because the runoff from Tank Hill freezes, it makes a ridge along the side of the road that's almost impassable, and it's slippery. People slide through the stop sign. I mean, something has to be done with regard to those grates or whatever that need to be put in there. I mean, that would solve the problem, not just the problem I have personally with the loss of my car, $19,000. I had to go out and buy another car. 50 years in the workforce, and I can't retire now. Thank you for your time.
Sure. Ms. Mayor.
Hi, good evening. When I was up at your house a few weeks ago,
Yes.
we sent a team out to take a look at the grate system. And what we found out, it's incorrect the way it is laid out. Okay? We're going to redo that and direct it the way it should be. So after the team came back to me, they said, Mayor, it's not laid out the way it should be for the drainage. So it's laid out, we're going to correct that. It's going to be fixed. Okay? And it will be... we'll be taking care of that. So, and I did talk to you that night, and I just want to let you know that we did do something since that day.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, sir.
We can keep you updated on what's going on with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Troy.
Let's just lady look at the first one. Before I consider that off, before I ask one formal question, Brian Sweats is not in attendance, correct?
Right
Oh, he is in attendance? I'm a little perturbed at this budget in general, to make a long story short, and I urge the four council people in attendance to vote against it. And I think it's pretty obvious why I feel that way, and a lot of other people feel that way, even though they didn't bother to show up. And in light of that fact, I think there should be another formal budget hearing Mr. Brooks, and I'd like to see you have the courage to at least propose that and see what the other people feel about that. I don't know how you, now, I don't know if this was a brainstorming session between Mayor Brown, Charlie, and Mr. Brian Sweats, and Brian Sweats' assistant, whom I'm sure is paid very significantly. But I'm disappointed with the results of this brainstorming session. And I can tell you in a very brief, pointed way that the proposal to double the storm fee is an anathema. You know what anathema is, Mr. Brown? It's a curse. It's an abomination. What your proposal amounts to is highway robbery. But do you know what, I just got a formal stream of news from over the internet that people's health insurance, who get health insurance for their employers, 165 million people are going to be affected by this. 7% in their premiums are going up. And as well as people who do not get health insurance for their employers. My point being that expenses are squeezing us. And Mr. Belasco just voted, among all the other people, for the sanitary authority to increase our fees for next year. So we are getting body slammed in a double whammy against us, we taxpayers, some of whom are struggling to put food on the table. I don't think I have to make this apparent to you, Mr. Brown and Mr. McCormick and Mr. Sweats. And you earn a pretty good salary, Mr. Sweats and Mr. Brown and Mr. McCormick. So I think you guys could do better. Going back to the drawing board and coming up, I mean, it's pretty simple math, isn't it? You don't have to be a math major to figure out, where can we cut expenses to compensate for this doubling of the sewer fee? Because you know as well as I do, Mr. Brown, that this money that you're proposing to glean from the taxpayers, this extra $50 a year, may not seem like much to you, and you're boasting, you're smug about the fact that you didn't raise property taxes. That's all well and good. But this amounts to a pretty good sizable property tax increase for some people anyway, $50 a year. And you know as well as I do that there is no separate account for a sewer fee, that money that you're going to get from this $50 is going to go into the regular general revenue. Is that true, Mr. Brooks, or isn't it? You care to comment on that? There is no separate sewer fund. Would you agree to that? You're going to vote on this in about an hour, right? The first reading. I'm sorry to get aggravated, but we're getting squeezed here from all sides, and you didn't help the situation, Mr. Belasco, and your rationalization doesn't hold. But that's a separate issue, maybe for 6 o'clock. I don't think it's too harsh to say that you guys didn't do your job. That it's a poor, any rationalization you give for this doubling of the sewer fee, Mr. Brown, is inexcusable. It is a how do they call it in the courtroom? A mockery of justice, a parody of fiscal competence. Because I was always taught frugality as a kid growing up, that money doesn't grow on trees. And I don't think, let me propose, since the time is limited, see, that's why we got to have another budget hearing. You have to get advice and consent from some of the people who might, by some remote chance, have a rational suggestion to compensate for this $50 increase. Do you have any suggestions, Mr. Brooks? No, because you don't give a damn. Let's face it. Neither do any of the others. This vote is going to be unanimous to pass this budget, and that's a disgrace. What can the public do to hone in? I got 43 seconds to give my suggestions, and that's not enough. But I got one strong suggestion, and that's to stop the commitment to pensions, to overtime, to salary increases, to medical benefits for all the employees, which you are so generous with, Mr. Brown. You couldn't give these people enough. He was earning $98,000 before he came in here, Mr. Sweats. Now he's earning over $100,000. I guess you thought you had empathy for him because you couldn't feel he was paying his water bill or something. I don't know. But that's where the money could be saved. And let me just add, in my 3 seconds left, one possibility for a new revenue stream: increase the mercantile tax by maybe 0.25% or 0.5%. Hasn't been increased since its inception. I'm sorry if I seem disgusted. I don't usually get this way, but it hurts, guys. It hurts.
Anyone else comments on the budget? Ben? Jamie?
No comments. Just a vote.
Jamie, do you want to speak? And then you're next. All right.
Steve Van, just wanted to give you guys an update on it all, asking around.
This is on the, Jamie, this is on the budget.
Budget only. All right.
All the comments on our next meeting a little bit. You want on the budget, Mrs. Joseph?
Linda Joseph, Wilkes-Barre. I just want to say that
When it hits in the pocket, then it's no joke.
I appreciate that it's only $50, $1 a week, versus a tax increase that would be much, much more. Personally, that's the way I feel. On the budget, I just have questions as a point of information. So in the tax administration section of the revenues, I see that in 2025 we had the mercantile tax administration, business privilege tax, and local service earned income tax, which was about $275,000, $80,000. That doesn't have any amount in 2026. So was that what we owed to Berkheimer to manage those things? Because this is under the expenses. So I'm just wondering what happened. Do we put it somewhere else? Is it categorized somewhere different? Just wondering, because that's a lot of money that doesn't appear there, and as revenue, just a point of information, just to see where did that belong. The other thing is under the income, I also see that the financial administration for Wyoming Valley Sanitary was $275,000, and now we've dropped it to $27,000 in 2026. So, where's that difference? What's happening there? That's all I have.
Okay.
I'll take the first one. So on the expenses, we still have Berkheimer. We did not get rid of Berkheimer. It's just a billing issue where we're getting billed net now. So if you actually look at the revenue, it's a little bit lower. Our projection is even a little bit lower. So it's just the way we're being billed. We used to physically have to write a check. They now give us the check and take the expense out. So we took it from the expenses and made the revenue lower. It's just the way we're handling it. They asked for this. We didn't ask to stop the bill. So instead of the city getting a bill from it and sending out a check and accounts payable, we get a net amount from Berkheimer.
Linda, the revenue of WVSA is, if you recall, several months ago, in order to meet the problem down on Horton Street with the sewer, that WVSA every year was reimbursing us a certain amount, which is about $300,000. I rounded off. So they had agreed, and the board had voted to advance next year and the other years to allow us to pay for a significant portion of the Horton Street sewer project. So it doesn't show up on revenue. It won't show up next year on revenue.
Anyone else with public comments on the 2026 budget? Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
We've all looked through this budget, and we know, as well as the administration knows, that probably and correct me if I'm wrong, 90-some% of this is non-discretionary. Can't do a thing about it. Collective bargaining agreements, other obligations, MMOs.
Speak with the mic, please. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
You're talking to the mayor. You're supposed to be talking to us, right?
Pardon me. Okay, as I said, 90-some% of this budget is non-discretionary on the expense side. Less than 10%, and considerably less than 10% is discretionary. Those things are like office supplies, travel, those smaller items that we can possibly save $1 or $2. But I think from looking through it that we've cut those dramatically, probably maybe a little bit more than we should have on the discretionary side. I think that it's easy to stand here and say that, we have to squeeze more out of it, but the city is bound by all these contractual obligations from all of the unions, other obligations, debt repayment, those types of things that there's no discretion involved there whatsoever. It's tight. It is tight. I'm hoping, as Linda had mentioned, that this is, I mean, I think that if we can only see a $50 increase in that sewer maintenance fee, I think the administration has done a good job. I think the finance officer and everyone involved in this has done a good job as well. So I just wanted to answer your questions. I know no one answered, but there's not a lot of places. There's not a lot of places there that they can.
Can I ask him a question, Mr. Brooks? He's addressing
Speaking.
So I can answer the
No,
rest.
you can ask a
Talking
question
to the mayor.
You can ask a question to council at the chairman.
Can I answer him, ask a question to him?
Mike, anything?
Now, this is serious business here.
Stan, you have anything?
No, I think maybe to help the residents out, maybe we could bill them quarterly instead of, the $100 all at once, and maybe help the residents out a little bit and a little less blow to their budget, and maybe something to think about.
I'm amenable to that. Would it be amenable if we even give it a discount and then bill it another quarterly or semi-annually?
Yeah, instead of like the one-time $100 fee, maybe we could bill the residents quarterly, $25 at a time.
And a discount if you pay it early?
And a discount if you pay it early. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Well,
Excuse me, sorry.
Can I talk? If you pay, first of all, right now, if you pay your sewer fee before the payment date, you get a rebate. You get
I hear you, Mr. Brown.
But Sam, I don't know how long I have to speak for you. If you pay your sewer fees early, you get a reduced rate. If council is asking, can we work with the residents and make it into 2 installments, we can do that. The earlier part of the year, we can do the first installment. The other part, second part of the year, we can do the second installment. So we can do that and still fiscally be able to pay our bills. So we're willing to do that. Okay, so right,
Sam,
excuse me, I'm talking. Very rude. So first of all, if you pay it, folks, you pay it early, you get a reduced rate. You can pay it now, $100 in 2 payments, in the beginning of the year and in the second part of the year. So yes, sir, we can do that. We can work that out and still be able to have the income necessary to run the city.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Maybe that'll help the residents out a little bit. Good idea.
I will say, when it comes to pilot programs, I'm glad to see that we do way better than any city of our size, bringing in nearly $750,000, over $750,000. My one question is, in the budget, is it accounted for perhaps the for-profit sale of the hospital to a nonprofit next year, or is that something that would come in 2027?
Yeah, Councilman, we're going to proceed with the regular budget like we have for 2026. We don't know what's going to happen with the hospital system, okay? There's a proposal to buy it. We don't know if that's going to go through or not. So for 2026, we're going to maintain the same budget. Will that to be readdressed in 2027? Sure it will. But for 2026, as of right now, what we know is what we have in front of us. I don't know what's going to happen with the hospital sale. I can't tell you what's going to happen there. There may be issues that are going to happen with this. I don't know. So as far as the city, that's what I'm concerned with, is trying to make sure that this budget's solid, which it's solid budget, okay? It's realistic. It's fiscally responsible for the residents of the city with just a $50 sewer fee increase, no tax increase in 7 years. I think that council and the mayor's office and the administration have done the best we can to keep the rates as low as possible. Compared to other municipalities, what we're paying now, $50, is much, much, much lower, okay? And it's still lower even with the increase that we're going to have. That's the best way I could answer that, sir.
So ours is going to go up to like $4 a month, and Scranton is $97 a month?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge, I get it. Okay, and we're lucky. Any other questions? We're good? That's good? Okay, then we'll break into
What about the
our next.
secretary?
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come and preside over these deliberations so that those that make the decisions may be guided by your wisdom.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Welcome this evening to the November 20th City Council meeting. This is a voting session. We have 6 items on our agenda, 3 resolutions and 3 ordinances. Would the clerk call the roll?
Mr. Barrett?
Here.
Mr. Polishko?
Here.
Mr. Marin?
Here.
Mrs. McClay is excused. Mr. Brooks?
Here.
Also in attendance is Mayor George Brown, Controller Tony Thomas, Administrator Charlie McCormick, Assistant City Attorney Maureen Collins, Finance Director Brian Sweats, Assistant City Clerk Tracy Smith, Administrative Assistant Lisa Sampolita. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's regular session of council. Please turn off all cell phones. Following are examples of some important council rules. They are not intended to be a complete list. Please adhere as closely as possible to the 5-minute speaker presentation time limit. No persons are allowed to address the council from beyond the rail, except the speaker at the dais who has the floor. Chairperson shall preserve order and decorum and prevent attacks on personalities. Chairperson shall determine all points of order. No persons except city officers or their representatives shall be permitted within the rail during any meeting without the express permission of council. Council kindly asks that the public please vacate the building within 10 minutes after the meeting adjourns. And finally, when members of the administration are speaking, please use the microphone.
At the time, we'll have comments on pending legislation. The 6 items on the agenda, there are 3 resolutions related to the local shared account, which is the opportunity for Wilkes-Barre nonprofits to apply for grants in Harrisburg. And then our 3 ordinances, one on traffic and motor vehicles, one on the budget, and the other one on sewer fees. Anyone would like to speak on those topics? Karen, you can speak now.
Hello, Karen Giles, Wilkes-Barre. This may be premature, but I'm not familiar with how the process goes. I just wanted to say thank you to the council for taking up the issue with the traffic and motor vehicle ordinance. It will affect my neighborhood in a very positive way, should it be voted favorably. So I want to thank you. I got to see the council in action, and I appreciate your willingness to hear the public and act for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. Anyone else like to speak on pending legislation? Mr. Troy.
It's a shock, right? First of all, on the LSA grants. Been through this a lot of times, and I guess it's like pounding my head against the wall. Other people have supported me on this view. When is enough for these Kings and Wilkes University? And didn't if I'm not mistaken, Wilkes just apply for such a grant for their nursing program a few months back? Now, I thought the window was for beginning of September to the end of November to apply for this. So it must have been very recently if they did apply. If that LSA grant was approved, why would they need another one? Are they going to expand the nursing program further? No, I wasn't here Tuesday night. Sorry, but $500,000, which could, I think, be diverted to other causes in the city, such as urban renewal and buying trees. That might be part of urban renewal, rather than be, what do you call when the city acts as a conduit? That's the word, right, Mr. McCormick? The city's only a conduit here, and yet Kings and Wilkes and the CYC, I see now, is applying for almost $1 million. And I guess the specifics are kind of irrelevant. It doesn't matter what they're applying for. They saw that the YMCA got an enormous grant, and they used that money over there. I'm a member of the Y, and I think most of it was wasted, to be honest with you. And I wonder how this program is audited, too. But I propose to council that they reject these grants. Of course, the chances of that I know is slim. To reject these proposals for these grants. Let's put it, the CYC I'm not as vehement against, but the Kings and Wilkes, what have they done for the city in return? And the answer is absolutely, not only have they done nothing, but in the case of Wilkes and in the case of Keys, I'm just looking at it from the environmental perspective, they cut down, they did these streetscape projects where they cut down trees on the end of North Franklin Street and South Franklin Street in front of the Overzetic Synagogue here by Wilkes that were, I don't know, 50, 100 years old. They just downed a grove of honey locust trees in front of 10 East South Street. I'm talking about Wilkes, which even Larry Newman admits is a undermining of the city landscape, of the city ambiance, even though it was on private property. Have they done anything to compensate? Have they done anything to increase their pilots? Nothing. Have they done anything perhaps to give tuition break to any of the citizens of Wilkes-Barre since the city of Wilkes-Barre is going out of its way to help them? Nothing. As far as I know, maybe you know something, Mr. Brooks. You're always in the know of these things, aren't you? And without ignoring, I wanted to acknowledge in the time, call attention to the time on can Ms. Payne or somebody tell me whether or not the ordinance on the budget, which is the second one, this is the first reading, correct? Has that been pulled so that could be voted on separately? It's going to be voted on as a package.
If council, if that's what council wishes, yes.
A package of the consent agenda ordinances, or the whole package with the resolutions and ordinances separate, right?
Resolutions, minutes are one consent, and the ordinances are another.
And the what? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
The resolutions and the minutes will be voted on as one consent agenda, and then the ordinances are a separate.
But the resolutions will be voted on as a package.
Yes.
I proposed, didn't anybody propose to take the budget out separately? The voted proposal should be voted on separately, and I think it should have a unanimous vote. I don't know what do you know what it says in the charter, Marie? You don't know much about the charter, I guess, do you? Whether it says that doesn't they have to have a unanimous vote? It's too important to vote, even though it's a first reading, to have it only 4 people. Mr. Clay isn't here. This is too important an item. You're talking about a doubling of the ordinance of the sewer fee, which is going to overburden, as I mentioned previously, the people who are already in economic hardship. Did you see what happened up here, Mr. Brooks? I'm calling your attention to this because I know you're very empathetic, just like the mayor is. I remember you spoke here, Mayor, at the UGI proposed rate increase back in April, I think it was, and you indicated you had tremendous, maybe that wasn't the word you used, significant empathy for the public who were struggling, and that's why you were against the increase. And I appreciated that comment. But evidently that doesn't carry forward to your budget because you are trying to exact more money from the people who elected you and more money who pay the taxes and do the living and dying around here. There's something morally offensive about that. I mean, I don't know if you can come to that same conclusion. But I think it's a disgrace. Let me just go back to that one item that should be pulled and voted on separately, and I'd urge council to vote against it or put it on the back burner.
I'd actually like to have a rebuttal from Wilkes and Kings to all the wonderful things you do.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Mike, would you come up to the podium?
What about Kings and Wilkes?
Mike, would you come up to the podium? Thank you, Mr. Trite. I know recently you've done an economic impact on what Wilkes does for Wilkes-Barre. What is that economic impact you've heard?
So our total economic impact for the greater Wilkes-Barre area, northeastern Pennsylvania, is more than $160 million annually.
And you have how many students do you have?
We have 2,000 undergraduate students and 3,500 graduate students.
And how many employees do you have, full-time, and then part-time?
Approximately 560.
560.
Yes, sir.
I think you do tremendous things for Wilkes-Barre. Thank you very much. Mr. Butchko,
Thank you.
Same question is for you. Do you know what King's College's economic impact is on the city? Please come to the podium and state your name for the record, too.
Yeah, I don't have the data, Tony, on as far as the economic impact.
But how many students do you educate on a yearly basis?
Students right now, about 1,950 that are on campus.
And how many employees do you have?
We have 460 that are full-time, part-time faculty and staff, and we have another 200 students that we employ during the academic year at various times.
And I kind of know on the Wilkes side, but I would assume also on the King side, is the majority of your students first-generation students?
Not the majority, but a good number are, and we have special programs to support them.
And I think yours is like 51, right? You're right there. And how many students would you say receive financial aid?
Probably most of them receive some type of financial aid.
Yeah, and would you say the same thing, I'm sorry, Mike, as well? Great. Thank you, Tom. Thank you for what you do for Wilkes-Barre. Mark, how many, I'm sorry, come here.
How does it benefit me? I'd like to know, Mr. Gross, what he said.
I think it was reported already in the newspapers. How many kids do you serve? Was it 3,000?
We serve well over 3,000 kids annually.
Annually, and you have a scaling return on what you charge for these programs, and you have scholarships for
There's
low-income
subsidies
people.
provided for the majority of children that attend our program.
And I'm sure there's some kids that receive free things.
Absolutely.
Free
We
food.
never turn anybody away due to lack of the ability to pay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Anyone else like to comment on pending legislation? Thank you. All right.
Okay, so we'll need a motion and a second on the resolutions and the minutes that consent agenda. Need a motion and a second.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Barrett,
Second.
second by Mr. Belishko. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Belishko?
Yes.
Mr. Mirren?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks? Yes. And we also need a motion and a second on the three ordinances.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Mirren. We need a second. Second by Mr. Barrett. Mr. Barrett?
Yes.
Mr. Belishko?
Yes.
Mr. Mirren?
Yes.
Mr. Brooks?
Yes. Good, Karen. Got you. You're welcome. All righty. Anything else you want to add, Councilman Belishko, from the previous meeting?
Well, I just want to remind people we have our annual Christmas parade this Saturday. Everyone's welcome. It starts at 3 o'clock on Main Street. Be there. Santa Claus is going to be there, I think. I don't know if he's going to make it this year, but we're going to hope. Thank you.
Councilman Barrett? Good.
Somebody brought this to my attention today, and it's regarding the railroad crossing, the county-owned railroad crossing on George Avenue. It's getting a little rough. It's precast concrete, and it looks like it's subsiding. I don't know if they can do anything with it, but maybe if we could reach out to the county and ask them if they could take a look at it and see if there's any way to smooth that out a little bit. It just looks like it's depressed, and I don't know if that concrete can be lifted or not. But that's it. Thank you.
Are you, Councilman Marin?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you. Public comments, Jamie Smith?
Good evening. I'm just following up from the last time I was here, so I asked around regarding the criminal juvenile rates going up. So I found out the state, we need about 100% more beds. The county itself needs about 50 beds. But some experts told me the main problem isn't space, it's more a lack of resources available for families and kids. So the startling number I found was the bottom number is about $175,000 a year per child to be in placement. So that's a lot of zip lines. And then as far as the garden update, the board meeting for the Lower South Valley Land Bank about a week ago, they're stuck in a quiet title process. They served the son accidentally, so now they've served the guy who owns the property. So hopefully that'll move along. And I think there was some discussion about homelessness last time, but they did discuss that they agreed to use $120,000 of these fair funds that they had that expire in February. So they're going to go toward Volunteers of America has a project called Brian's Place, which is 5 units of housing for homeless people. It's a multi-million-dollar project that started before the pandemic, but that's to go toward helping them finish this project. I think I had heard in the spring there was some discussion about using some of those fair funds for other blighted properties in the city, and also maybe like a first-time homebuyer assistance program, but I don't know if you guys got wind of that or if there's any talk of what might happen with the rest of those fair funds. Okay. I'm allowed to ask questions or not?
No. Sure.
Okay.
He'll respond.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
We did do the first-time home buyers program. I don't know if you remember that, Jamie, but We allocated that if you want to buy a home in the city of Wilkes-Barre as your primary residence, okay, we paid up to $7,500 of your closing costs.
Okay.
We did that. We had 54 people that bought houses and utilized that program. Also, in conjunction with that, if you have a primary residence and you want to do anything to improve your residence, whatever it was that improved the residence, you could also apply for up to $7,500 of those funds. It could be for a roof, for a furnace, whatever. We had 254 people took advantage of that, okay? The other thing I'm very proud of, it was called the Spark program. A lot of things that we did 2 years ago are happening now in other cities, okay? It's called the Spark program. If you want to open up a new business in the city of Wilkes-Barre, we paid your rent for the first year, okay? 91 new businesses opened up under that program. You're going to say, well, Mayor, how many are still open? Okay, 90%. So this is things that we started under the 9-point plan we put together, and these are things that have been in effect for a couple of years. We actually expended all the monies we had for those programs, but we also gave $1 million to 24 social agencies that they split $1 million for the needy, the homeless, things like that.
Okay, so, but all those fair funds for the land bank are exhausted now?
They've been exhausted.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
But we did do a very aggressive.
Okay.
They're doing this grant now.
Okay, and I will add, my daughters have been doing ballet at Wilkes for, I don't know, like 10 years. It's been great. And last night, Kings had a great free talk by this guy from Scranton who's now a playwright in New York City and this made a Netflix. It's called The Humans, and he's done a bunch of other things, but it was really good and it was free.
Good. Thanks for the update, Jeremy. Tom Gagata? Tech.
Other than the things, by Tom Gagata, other than things that I wrote on the paper, well, Sam mentioned that about the sewer fees going up. I forgot about that. That's kind of a big jump right now, like $69.40 for the average each payment, so what it adds up to. But they claim it's going to be almost $400 by the year 2030. Why are these? So
That's the sanitary authority, not
the
us.
sanitary authority. Okay, so I'll change that subject. About the cleanup that you guys were up on North End going around the neighborhoods, finding blight and things. Why was it started so late in the year, November this was, and whatever you did that, where you were with the mayor and some of the crew going around checking? Why couldn't this be done during the whole year, checking different neighborhoods, whatever? Because as I mentioned before in the past, a lot of neighborhoods, like, there's a lot of junk laying around.
Okay, keep going.
A lot of junk laying around, different things, and seems like a lot of things are getting neglected in our neighborhoods. Should be nicer than what they are. People taking better pride in our neighborhood and the area, and maybe we could look into that a little further and do something about that. But as he was mentioning about these different things on the agenda today, they're all for a good cause, I'd say, whether we like it or not. But to benefit the students in the schools, Wilkes and Kings, I mean, you get a lot of people coming here. The great thing, especially the program for the nursing, much needed, as we know. And the CYC situation, I think a lot of us used to go there years back. I mean, if police needs help, how else are they going to get it? But the other thing mentioned about Mr. Troy, about the neighborhoods, our neighborhoods in general, how are we going to maintain our neighborhoods if people don't have money to maintain things? And then I drive around different areas, you see junk laying in the front of the streets, curbs, people don't pick up their trash cans, leave them out front all week long, they don't clean up the leaves, different things, not making things nice. Maybe it could be enforced somehow. So that's what I wanted to say about that fact about the cleanup. And I think it all relates to safety also. And I think I mentioned once before, and I did see some street signs put up after I talked about a month or two ago. The city should maintain the street signs with the names, maintain things better, street lights, and stop signs in proper place and different things. And we have different committees for different things, like the traffic committee. People talk about it, the traffic committee checks on it. However they do things, who's qualified to do it, who knows. But it all relates to everybody working together in the city to making things better what it is. Okay. As far as the junk laying around, people getting rid of things, a lot of people don't have a pickup truck. I do. A lot of people don't have access to get rid of something, like to take it down to the recycling center. And the basic fee down there, no matter how much weight you have in your truck, $60. People don't have the money for that. Maybe the city could, I know in different areas they have that, where you can have a general pickup area, even if you have to pay a little bit for it, the city can get a dump truck there, whatever. People dump stuff into it and pay a little bit and help out, whatever, but might make things better, cleaner for the city, and get people to get rid of stuff that's laying on their front porch, like living room sets on their front porch falling apart, people are driving by and looking at it, looking like hell. Like I think somebody mentioned once before, some executives from Geisinger were coming to the area, getting off 81, coming from Danville, and they're coming down, this is about 2 years ago, they're coming down Blackman Street, and the eyesores that they saw they couldn't believe for the so-called city we are. And we have a lot of cities in the area, Hazleton City in our county, Manicoke, Pittston, and Wilkes-Barre. As Mr. Troy mentions a lot of times, you know, sometimes some people could think this guy's gets a little out of hand, but he does bring up good facts. He's well-educated, and I've known the man for years. Thanks, Sam. And if people can work together, I know as our mayor worked with the mayor of Pittston and Hazleton, sometimes talking about some things, how the cities could be better, but that's what it takes to work. But the other thing I wanted to mention, which I found out about, which I got involved taking some electronic equipment up to the drop-off at the city garage. The line was unbelievable, but it was good to do. I had 2 monitors to get rid of. I paid $20 for each one. City of Scranton, which is larger than us, maybe to get more funding, they have more grants, whatever, more connections with maybe the Democratic Committee, whatever, or whoever. I have relatives in Scranton, and one of my relatives was just involved in the election up there. But they had a drop-off for electronics, TVs, monitors, all kind of things. Residents didn't pay a dime. Why? We had to pay. So I had 2 monitors I dropped. I paid $40. I wasn't aware I was going to have to pay. I luckily had money in my pocket. But all with cooperation. But our city is trying to do a good job, but maybe we could work better all together. So we're a handful of people here talking about these council meetings we have. How do we get the city residents more involved with different things that are going on to make our city better and cleaner and safer? As I advocate a lot of times, I'm a man who got life changed by somebody who went through a stop sign. That's why I advocate about the stop signs. And when I mentioned that about 2 months ago, the stop sign on the street that I live, I saw somebody from the city taking pictures of it. The next day the sign was bent in half, putting a new sign up. But yesterday again, I saw people coming up the street the wrong way, going up the street the wrong way. People don't pay attention. And a lot of people in this area, I think maybe they came from another state, whatever, they don't know what the hell a right-of-way means. You're at a stop sign, you have the right-of-way to turn and just pull right in front of you. I don't know. Things are just crazy here.
So, Tom, the reason why we have to charge money for, say, a refrigerator to be picked up at your house is because we have to pay the dump work.
I realize that.
So that's one reason. 2, we have health inspectors, is it 5 health inspectors? So at any one time, there are 5 health inspectors out in their cars roaming around the city.
I see them.
Going out from problem properties. If you see anything that needs attention, call one of us. I think it's your councilman, right? We'll take care of it for you right away. The reason why we had a concentrated effort with the mayor on, was it Darling Street and then on Essex, is the mayor asked each of us what is our most pressing needs, problem neighborhood, problem street, where the fire, the police, DPW, code enforcement, health department, all of us can go at the same time.
Working together.
Right, and so that's what the mayor did, and he's going to do them yet again when the weather gets better. But street signs, so we have our own department that makes the street signs. You might have been noticing all the street names, like, you know, River, Ross, Odor, they're all being changed to the new green
The
ones.
green and white lettering.
Right, with the white lettering
Beautiful.
and the logo. So that's taking time. But if you see a stop sign or a yield sign or want a sign like, you know, deaf children in the area, whatever, we have all those signs that can be made in-house and put up right away.
Yeah. But I'm referring back to where I live. There's a do not enter sign 52 yards from the corner into the street. People turn up there all the time. Sooner or later, there's going to be a collision there.
So which street is that?
It's on Monroe Street.
So Monroe
Run
Street?
into Walnut Street. I mentioned about 2 months ago, the stop sign was changed, it's on your utility pole. But,
Do not-
getting back to the signs, Tony, the signs in it, if you drive around the city, which you can see, they are not consistent. They should be on metal poles, frames, not on utility poles. Some are high, some are low, all different places. We don't have a consistent policy on street signs. And even really going back to that situation out that expressway, the people used to talk about it. I don't know, yeah, I think it was Bill Barrett talking about it, has to go through the state, whatever. I saw it the other day, it's coming off that expressway, coming from the north end. People come to the expressway in front, there's no traffic light there, unbelievable. And then in the wintertime, especially where that divider is there, there's no sign there to show that the divider's there, covered with snow, people could hit it, but people don't know where to come off that expressway, that exit from the Cross Valley. It's a dangerous situation. But everything's at a stalemate, everything has to be done eventually, right?
Thank you so much, Tom.
Okay.
Any comments? Any comments from City
I
Council?
failed to tell Tom who leads our sign department, our own Lisa, right here.
There you go.
She's in charge of that.
Thank you.
She's head of the sign department.
Okay, good. Any other comments from council? Okay, great. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
How you know? You did not put the form in sample. You did not.